Sanbanani guys, welcome back to yet another video, and we are speaking about the latest episode of Sibongile and the Dlaminis. So guys, this episode starts off with Upheteni, Uwenzeni, Vusi and Jengaye. They are at the hospital. You can see everyone is worried, sick about Ukwenzo, and they are just waiting for a report from the doctor. So Wenzeni and Upheteni, they are sitting on one couch and they are holding hands, and you can see Shemu Wenzeni, she is so worried about Ukwenzo. So Wenzeni says to Upheteni, ma mocabanga. Bamenzani Ukwenzo, like what are they doing to Ukwenzo right now? Upheteni goes on to respond and says probably they are doing some scans so that they can know how to wake him up. Nanje, when Upheteni and Uwenzeni are sitting hand in hand and they're talking to one another, Unjengai is on the other side and his shirt, you guys, is full of blood. Remember, they literally just came from that event and came straight to the hospital because of Ukwenzo's accident. So his shirt is still filled with blood because I mean he was fighting with Jabu and he's holding like a ice pack on his head because maybe his head his head actually was hit by Uchabu. So Uvusi goes on to say ukuthi asithembe ukuthi uzovuka. I'm looking at Uvusi, I'm like, Vusi, what do you mean ukuthi asithembe ukuthi uzovuka? Like at this point you shouldn't even be speaking like that. At this point you should say uzovuka and comforting Uwenzeni, but he says asithembeke ukuthi uzovuka. Jengaye gives Uvusi that look ukuthi hayi wena ukhulumani, like you the last person who should be speaking in this situation. So Jengaye goes on to say ukuthi this is all your fault. Yonke lento ingenxa yakho Vusi. Vusi goes on to say, Baba, yindaba, like every time like there's something that goes on, you always blame me when things like go sour or go south, basically. Jengaye goes on to say, ukuthi wena olethele umgunukudu emndenini wami. Speaking about Ujabu. Uvusi goes on to say, Baba bengenza umsebenzi wami like njengenjwayelo, like I was doing business. How was I supposed to know that Jabu had a personal vendetta? And shame Uvusi. At this point, I'm just like, I'm sure Uvusi misses Uklina because Klina was the only person who was besides his mother again, but his mother's in a tight position. But Uklina, she was at least on his side, even though she made him do things that were not right, but at least it was for the benefit of them. Now with his family, Unjengai, any opportunity he gets, he will blame Uvusi, and I just feel like this was not the right time. Unjengai goes on to say, Uti, angitaunag. He gets up and he looks at Uvusi straight in the eyes and he's like, angitaunag, awuzinagi izinto wena Vusi. Unjengayo goes on to say, ukuthi wena nje just pray, thandazela umfowenu ukuthi uyalulama, pray that your brother gets well, ngoba mfanam, ngoba ngiyafunga ngiyakhomela ukuthi wena if ukwenza avuki. So Uvusi goes on to say ukuthi ufunga ukuthini, like ngempela like ufunga ukuthini. Ngoba like kumbula, like I'm not the one here kahle who is being accused of murdering someone, so you're the one who's been accused of murdering someone. At this point Uvusi is standing on his feet and he's looking at Unjengaye in the face. Uwenzeni is sitting that side and she's looking from face to face, like looking at Uvusi speaking, looking at Unjengaye speaking, because now they are kind of bickering. And you can see ukuthi Upheteni is just sick. Ushatu ukuthi ati shut up, because she's just annoyed at what's going on right now. Jengayo goes on to say ukuthi ungabulinge mfana wami, yeza ungabulinge, like don't you dare start with me, don't you dare accuse me of things you know nothing about. When Jenny goes on to say, ukuthi baba, iqiniso kanti ukuthi wabulala umuntu. Peteni goes on to say, hayi, ubaba wakho would never kill anyone. ayikho nje into ayikho nje leyo nto. She goes on to say ukuthi, can we please calm down, bengicela ukuthi sihliseni imimoya. Into obekumele siyayenza as umndeni manje is that we should be praying for uKwenzo together as a family right now. While she's saying that, the doctor walks in and he's like, mndeni kaDlamini. Then they all get up. Then the doctor says, I'm sure you guys are eager to hear about uKwenzo's condition. Ukushayeka kwakhe was quite severe and he's currently unconscious, but ama-vitals wakhe aright kakhulu, so uKwenzo will be fine. Then uPhetheni says, siyabonga dokotela, thank you. The doctor walks out and we can still see the tension between uVusi and uNjengaye. Ukuthi, listen, the conversation they were having is not done as yet. Guys, next scene we see Uba and Utlina. Tlina is back in action, back in the scenes. So Tlina's aunt, uMamTshali, walks into Tlina's room and she's like, hayi bo, angikholelwa ke lena. She takes the blanket off Tlina because Tlina is sleeping. She takes the blanket off her and then she's like, hey bo, ulala njani? Like, how can you be sleeping when bo ulele emini? Like, ulala njani ebusuku whereas bo ulele emini? Tlina is so irritated, guys, because you know what it's like for a person to remove blankets like that, or like off you, it's like shy at that point. So Tlina's like, how MamTshali, like how ngikhathele, like ngifuna ukuphumula, and she's so annoyed. MamTshali is not hearing anything. She's like, oh, mina angidingi ukuphumula wena phela. Ngiyapheka kathathu mina Tlina, ngiphinde futhi ngifukize ngikline, yonke into la endlini yenziwa yimi. Tlina is so annoyed. Tlina, guys, she's used to treatment. Princess le Dlamini, she left her own house because she didn't want to wash dishes and clean, and went to stay Dlamini household just so that abonomfundo bamtende, guys. So Tlina goes on to say ukuthi awukahle, like hlukana nami phansi, like kusebusuku abantu balele, like asilaleni nathi. Hayibo, Antwaka goes on to say, lalela sisi, mina ngisiza wena la. Wetlina awufunda ukuthi uzenzele izinto, like uphakame, like uzithintithe. Tlina goes on to say, like, do I really have to, like, especially after everything endlule kuzona. Tlina's aunt goes on to say ukuthi ungadonsa lobuso bakho bude bube bude sisi. You see, if uzoziphathisa wentomazane, if uzoziphathisa wentomazane nami uzophathisa wentomazane. So basically, if you want to act like a child, if you want to act like a young child, I am going to treat you like a young child. Tlina goes on to say, hayibo MamTshali, like awukahle. UMamTshali goes on to say ukuthi yazi ukhalina to ne choice, awuna choice. You are phansi kwami, you are basically under my care, under my roof, so you will do as I say, basically. Tlina sitting there, she's rolling her eyes and her aunt's looking at her and she's like, awusukume wena. And then Tlina's like, kulungile ke. I'm just like, Tlina, like at this point you need to get used to doing things your aunt's way, or either you better answer uVusi's calls. Maybe uVusi will take you back, and maybe uVusi will get tired of his father and eventually azmele, guys, hopefully crossing fingers, because at this point, shame uVusi, like I feel sorry for him. Then we see uPhetheni and uNjengaye, and they are having a conversation. They are obviously now back home, back from the hospital, and uNjengaye is like, "Niyazi ikhanda liyaduma nje." And then he goes on to say, ukuthi bulala, like ngisola ubulala mina, like people like I'm being suspected for murder, me, killed someone. He goes on to say to Phetheni, do you have any idea how terrible this makes us look? Phetheni goes on to say, yeah, ngiyazi, kodwa ke the thing and that confuses me, umncedisi wafa kanjani and indaba yakhe beyifihlwelani. uNjengaye goes on to say, uyabona nje leyo nami nje angazi, nami nje ngabona imanager ngaleso sikhathi ibasayinisa ama-NDA forms. So he's saying there was a manager at that time that was making employees sign NDA forms. NDA forms is non-disclosure forms, meaning that they are not going to say anything about the death kamncedisi. So Njengayo goes on to say that when he saw the manager doing that, he ignored it. And he goes on to say, ukuthi nami ngiyenzubulima ke lapho. Ngiyenzubulima by just ignoring it and not like ask myself ukuthi why besayiniswa ama-NDA form la kufihlwani when a person passed away. Then he goes on to say ukuthi kodwa nayi indodana yakho-ke or nayi indodana yethu Khamuyani, ruining basically everything. Upeteni goes on to say ukuthi pointing fingers at each other right now isn't going to help. Jengayo goes on to say ukuthi that's how he is. Like uVusi ngiyamazi unjalo, like uyathanda uzenza i-staring. Uqhamuka nje sekazenza uspenza njengoba ufuna ukunconywa like sonke isikhathi hayi man. And that is uVusi shame, but who made him like that? Unjenga is the one who made him like that because he hardly gives uVusi any acknowledgement, any compliments when uVusi does things that right to him. Peteni goes on to say ukuthi wena bawukuphi when uVusi was trying to be uspenza bawukuphi, because bokumele ukuthi umsize as his father and guide him. Where were you all along when uVusi was trying to act like Spencer? Unjengaya rolls his eyes and he looks at Peteni and he's like, hey, I'm supposed to help uVusi after he blackmailed me to get CEO position. I ngeke never. So Peteni goes on to say, all I want to know is how we are going to fix this mess. Unjengayo goes on to say, leave it to me. I won't allow my company and my family to go up in flames. We also see Uvelepi, guys. She is at but she prepared an English breakfast. The breakfast, yes, will be, guys, your bacon, your sausage, amakanda. She even puts it in those amapola kona. Uvuma, when they wake up, guys, or when they woke up to ipunga, a lot of bacon, or liga bacon, guys. So they come in and Philip is like, guys, shalan panty, they were so happy, babu vuma is mongeleting, yonganyami, was wow, it looks so delicious. Philip takes out her wallet, she's like, now 200 rand, na imalia petrol. I'm like, it's my first time ever. Uvelepe is always there. Money. Always had money, but it's my first time ever seeing her take out money saying which we Uvuma for a petrol. So Uvuma's declining and he's like, no, like what is it for? So Philip is like, no, you came all the way to Epalitu's own land, so things to like I must place their petrol money. I took mali ne. So Uvuma's like, no, you my child in. So Philip says, okay, fine. Kubelani ke ehlalan phansi, kubelani nidle eat, me busy nje ngisayokina amafestere. I need to wash curtains. I'm just like, this is nice to see. But anyway, that's that. We also see Sibongile. She is at the hospital and she's busy sitting next to Ukwenzo and she's like, if only the night stood still while we're dancing. Like basically she's thinking to that day when they were her at Ben Ukwenzo, they were dancing on the dance floor, and she's like, I wish time stood still so we could just continue forever dancing. And then she goes on to say ukuthi Kwenzo, like ngiyakuthanda ngenhliziyo yami yonke. Like she confesses her love for Kwenzo and she's laying on his chest there, but Kwenzo is unconscious. Anyway, guys, we see Unjengaye, he is in a meeting with the company. It looks like it's the company shareholders, and he's telling them that, guys, so is cut. We need to remove our current CEO. Namike, I take responsibility for putting him in that position, knowing very well Uti agekho ready to be a CEO, knowing that he is not fit enough to be a CEO. So I need to remove him and reinstate myself. But Kulegani, like, I'm going to fix this mess. You can see Upetian is there because she's uncomfortable because this is her son that they're talking about. And mind you, Uvusi is not part of that meeting. So Uvusi walks in and is surprised. He's like, lana, like, so when's misanga, so busy misanga, nama meeting a paja wami. So anyway, Unjengaya says that Vusi sit down. I have taken the decision to remove you as CEO and reinstate myself. Uvusi says, I don't see that will be necessary. I will fix this mess. Unjengayo goes on to say, Wuti, the only way for you to fix this mess is basically for you to step down so that I can fix this mess. But if, Cam, you are basically arguing or you disagree with my position to take you or to let you step down as CEO, let's let people vote for themselves. So anyway, unjengayo us people ukuthi bengicela ukuthi niphamise isandla sokudla, and the people who want to vote for uvusi to stay in, pick up your hands. Guys, not even one person raised their hands for Uvusi. Uvusi was just standing there, guys. I felt sorry for him in a sense because Uvusi's always been put in situations like this. And it's not that some people don't believe in Uvusi. It's just that they are scared of Unjengai. And they know very well that Njengai is probably in a better position business-wise, connection-wise, to fix this problem. So he goes on to say, Wuti bonke abavotela mina, I get to be reinstated as CEO. Everyone literally picked up their hands for Unjengai. So just like that, uvusi udliwe vote, guys. Then, guys, we see Upeteni and Unjengai, they decide to go and see Jabu at his office. It looks like it's a new office or something, because remember, his office, his studio, guys, burnt down. So Jabu's like, when he sees them coming in, he says to them, ukuthi nisithatha phi isibindi nivele nitheleke ofisini lami. Njengayo goes on to say ukuthi ubuzitshela ukuthi uqedile ngathi ne? You told yourself ukuthi you are done with us. Then Unjengayo goes on to say, Upeteni goes on to say to Jabu, uyabona-ke Jabu, sinenkinga efanayo thina now. Singabantu abangakhohlwa. Me and my husband and you, we've got the same thing, we've got the same problem that we don't forget easily. Jabu goes on to say, ta mina nani, like asfani. Nina, you are the type of people that you use to escaping consequences no matter what you guys do. Unjengayo goes on to say, we are not here to banter with you we're not here to argue with you, like asizelanga lokho to basically fight with you. Jabu goes on to say, pho manje like nifunani nizeleni lana, like what do you guys want? Njengayo goes on to say, ucacile ukuthi yonke lento le uyicabangele kahle, uyiplane kahle. Unfortunately, your plan wasn't successful. Jabu goes on to say, I wanted you to experience at least half of the pain that my father went through when you inhaled that smoke. Manje, when Jabu saying that, guys, it sounds like he did it intentional. Usho ukuthi ukhiye umnyango wase-studio knowing that there was a fire, but it looked like he didn't know. But like him saying that statement, it seems like he wanted Unjengayo to actually die in them. So anyway, Petien goes on to say, Jabu, I'm not sure if you've heard ukuthi like a garage is like feeding yourself poison, and it's going to affect you and not us. Jabu goes on to say, hey, oh gosh, angithi like I was there lana ukuthi umshumayeze, like you're not here to preach to me, so kahle kancane ungitshela ukuthi isikhulu sizodla mina and whatnot. Njengayo goes on to say ukuthi we are here so that we can help you find peace. Jabu goes on to say ukuthi, do you know that I've got incriminating information against you guys? I have evidence to put you guys behind bars. So like nani, like for you guys to come and stand here, nani, like what do you guys basically have? Njengayo goes on to say, lalela Jabu, mina, I've got eyes everywhere, I've got connections everywhere, and my connections actually have footage outside of your studio Sako showing ukuthi mina, the last time I was seen bengingena e studio, and then the next person after I came in was you, and you locked the studio, meaning that you locked me inside of a burning studio. So who's got the evidence now? And Jabu was left there surprised, guys, because he just noticed ukuthi like akasena plan ukuthi Dlaminis, they are a step ahead than him, and their information is a lot more incriminating than the information that he basically has. So Petten goes on to say, so Jabu, when like stop feeding the media in that like your father died in our company and we killed him, and in or else like you're gonna end up in jail. So Njengayo closes off the conversations and closes off the conversation by saying, "Uthi, awunalutho, your studio is burnt." So basically, they are there, guys. I feel like, in a sense, they're saying to him, "We're not going to sue you because you had your motives of you believed we killed your father. You just keep quiet. If you keep quiet about this whole thing, we're going to deal with it in our way and continue with your life. Because listen, if you want to continue talking to the media, we've got much more incriminating information on you." And I think that is such a fair thing to do, guys. They're not asking him to pay for anything and whatnot. Kind of like they are feeling for him for the fact that he lost a father. Lastly, we see Ukwenzo. He is in the hospital. He wakes up, and when he wakes up, he says Sibongile. And Sibongile, she is so happy, guys, to see Ukwenzo is up. She starts calling the hotel and nasty like that they must come and help Ukwenzo. And Usbongile is like, "I'm calling the nurses, I'm calling the doctor so that they can help you in case there's anything you need." And Ukwenzo is like, "No, kulega, like everything I need, yonke into engiyidingayo is in front of my eyes." What I'm trying to say is nami ngiyakuthanda Sibongile. So that means when Sibongile was confessing that time when he was unconscious, he heard it because he responds in saying nami ngiyakuthanda. That's a response. He goes on to say Sibongile like ngiyakuthanda mambamba uyezwa like ngenhliziyo yami yonke. And all she's doing is just blushing there, and yo, blushing like grinning, guys, because I mean she's been wanting to hear this news. But guys, we know stories that Sibongile no wins it's too good to be true. Or maybe they will end up dating. Let's see if their love is strong enough that even when Ukwenzo learns that Usbongile is suing his family, will he still decide to be in a relationship with her? Asazi, guys. Let's park it right there. Tell me your thoughts on the latest episode. Please do make sure you like the video. Please do subscribe. It is absolutely for free of charge. And I'll see you guys on the next one.